Okay, welcome everyone to today's webinar. Our topic today is IBM WorkLight. This will be an overview of the technology. Our presenter today is Anantha Subramaniam from Marga Systems. And I do apologize if I have not pronounced your name correctly. So I am trying and doing my best, but we do appreciate your time and we appreciate everyone who is attending today for the webinar. Just as a reminder, we will record this webinar so that you can share it with coworkers and other people in your organization. And at the end of the presentation, if you do have some questions, again, this will be a non-technical presentation, so any of the deep dive technical questions, we'll reserve those. If you do want to ask those, that's fine, and then Marga Systems will reply offline to you. So they have the right resources available to discuss that with you. But we will have a short question and answer after the presentation with Anantha so that we can, if you do have certain questions, that he can answer in terms of what his understanding is of the technology and what resources would be available to you. So great. So I know time is limited for everyone. Anantha, the time is now yours. I'm going to switch the screen over to you. And I'll let you know when we see your screen.
Okay.
All right, we see your screen. You're all set.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Anantha Subramanian, as Scott said. Today I'm going to be talking about an IBM offering, an open platform that you can use to mobilize your existing web and service applications. So a quick intro about our company. We are Marga Systems. Marga literally means Pathfinder. We are a premium IBM partner and a leading provider of enterprise collaboration and communication solutions for the past decade. We have offices in the US and in India, and partners in the Middle East, Europe, and customers spread around the world. Again, my name is Anantha Subramanian, and I'm a project manager here with Marga Systems. Let me quickly run through the agenda for today. We're going to have a short introduction on why we're going to be mobilizing, or why would you need to mobilize, the challenges that enterprises face while mobilization, development approaches. We're going to be talking, and then we get into an introduction to WorkLight, which is the tool that we're going to be discussing about, an overview. We'll look at a simple WorkLight application sample that we have developed at Marga while we went into WorkLight and explored things. Then we'll look at a couple of case studies, and then we'll open out the questionings. So why mobilize? Today's discussion that we're talking about, it's merely the tip of a larger computing iceberg, so to speak. We have software that powers mobile devices. Those are being co-opted to power a whole range of devices, which means that applications may be accessed by a whole range of new age devices as well. And these new age devices, as I talked about, include devices like TVs, for that matter. Even TVs are coming with Android in them. So in the future, we may reach a point where people might want to access enterprise applications through those. Studies have estimated that by 2020, which is a short 7 years from now, there'll be about 20 billion connected devices, and this presents tremendous opportunities, both from a business to consumer perspective and from a business to enterprise perspective. So the need, we think, is for the same applications and the content to be made available across a wide range of devices. Now, at the enterprise level, mobility is a hot topic, since studies have found that productivity increases by 45% almost when people are allowed to use mobile devices in the workplace for work. And a sampling of CIOs found that 61% of these CIOs put mobile as a top priority for their enterprises. The biggest affected enterprises are those in the retail, financial services, and distribution segments. But then you don't need me to tell you that. You see that on a daily basis all your lives. But enterprises face a wide range of challenges when it comes to mobilization. IBM's Tech Trends for 2011 reports that within the enterprise, the top concerns are security and privacy, the cost of developing multiple mobile platforms, applications for multiple mobile platforms, and integrating cloud services to these mobile devices. Enterprises are grappling with mastering development, integration, and management of these devices, and to deliver apps to end users in an increasingly complex world. The challenges: development is expensive. You need diverse skill sets based on the approach that you want to take. And now that everybody wants to use their own devices, the bring your own device movement has arisen with newer challenges. There are way too many devices with a wide range of form factors. There are maintenance issues since there are different code bases that may need to be maintained based on the operating system. Of course, device and application management and integration with enterprise systems. Now, how are enterprises responding? Enterprises are responding in a few different ways, or a combination of a few different ways. One, they are adopting open standards based technologies like HTML5, JavaScript, and CSS3 as the standard for mobile development. Instead of developing a single application, enterprises are trending towards developing a large number of such applications, a whole application portfolio. They are trying to develop more rich and complex apps, apps that allow user access to enterprise data and transactions. Mobile device and application management functionality is a top priority, as is security and authentication. Now, we want to do a poll right now. What are the applications? Scott?
Yep, I am ready.
The poll?
I'm ready. I'll launch the poll. Hold on one second. There we go. There we go. Okay, so the poll is, what applications do you wish to deploy to mobile devices? So this is a multiple select, so if there's more than one option that you want to, that your organization is considering, please select all that apply. And we will give you a few more seconds here to respond. Perfect. We're up to about 80% of us already responding. All right, 3 more seconds to get the last polls in. All right. Okay, I'm going to close the poll and display the results. So it looks like workflow solutions, of course, one of the obvious ones, is the most popular or most desired.
Thanks, Scott. What I see here is that a lot of you want workflow solutions on the mobile. This is something that we have been seeing with our customers and people that we talk to as well. Workflow applications that integrate with existing enterprise systems are a huge draw. So quickly moving on, the approach, the development approach. These are the 3 different approaches that enterprises take when mobilizing their applications. They either go 100% native, which means they target specific platform, a specific platform, be it Android or iOS, and use a platform-specific tool for this purpose. Or they go open source, use frameworks that I talked to you about, HTML5, PhoneGap, JavaScript, HTML, and use that. Otherwise, they go towards a mobile enterprise application platform-based development, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about today with WorkLight. Now, these are three different approaches, but each of them come with their own shortcomings. If you want to go 100% native development, the development is expensive, and so is maintenance. The resources are scarce and costly because specific skill sets are needed. Now, if you go to open source tools, these lack enterprise grade functionalities at the moment. They're growing, but at this point, support for enterprise grade functionality, be it access to backend systems on a regular basis, security, those are big concerns. There's no integration or a services layer, and access to device features is limited. The third approach, again, the mobile enterprise application platform. These require, again, skills that are specific. The what you see is what you get. IDEs are limited. The scripting languages are proprietary. The scalability is limited, and all of these enterprise application platforms require a professional service-based business model, and there is a lack of a strong return of investment. Now, we want to do a quick poll again. If you've been considering an application, mobilizing your application, what would be your approach?
Okay, I'm going to launch.
Can we go to this poll?
Yep, the poll is now launching. So this one is a select one only. So we want to get an idea of what your thoughts have been thus far about creating your mobile applications and which approach. All right, we're up to 80% of us have already voted. Give us about 10 more seconds. Okay, I'm going to share the results. Very close.
Yep. So open source and MEP, I mean everything, all three are pretty close. I guess it depends on the nature of the application and the integration that you need. That would be your approach. Fair enough. Fair enough. So I'm going to move on. So coming to the topic at hand, we're going to be talking about WorkLight. Now, I talked about the shortcomings of the three major mobile development approaches. Now, IBM wants to mitigate the shortcomings that we talked about, and to that purpose, they introduced WorkLight. Now, IBM's WorkLight vision is that of a truly open mobile development application development platform, a platform that would support hybrid applications. I'll come to what hybrid application mean in some time. Allows enterprises focus on new devices and unique capabilities, fulfill high-end enterprise requirements around their capabilities, the delivery of applications, integration, security, scaling, and management. And then this is also intended to be a tool that allows the handling of the entire life cycle of a mobile application. A quick note about IBM itself. IBM has been a leader in mobile application development platforms, and Gartner has just agreed. Now, IBM is one of the largest players in this enterprise mobility market. Their service revenue that Gartner estimates exceeds 1 billion, which again is a number that is expected to grow. As a result, Gartner's latest Magic Quadrant for mobile application development that came out earlier this month features IBM as a leader. Gartner mentions that this is mainly due to the completeness of vision and execution ability of IBM WorkLight, which is what we're talking about today. The IBM mobile application development platform, which is part of IBM's larger mobile first portfolio. Now, this IBM mobile first portfolio is a portfolio of applications that provide IBM with end-to-end lifecycle management of mobile applications. So, moving on, we'll quickly take a look at what WorkLight can do. Now, the challenge for any enterprise these days is to use a standards-based technology and tools to deliver an enterprise-grade services layer that meets the needs of the customers and employees. Now, some key WorkLight capabilities that support or help meet this challenge is the ease of development using WorkLight. WorkLight promises a single code base with a simplified drag and drop UI construction, and more importantly supports agile development, which means that you can develop small and develop with an iterative mode and keep adding new features as you go along. Now, WorkLight also supports something called a package runtime screen, which means that the same code base can be used across devices of a single operating system, whether it's an Android tablet or an Android phone, or whether it's an iPad or an iPhone. The same code base can be used. The support for these multiple form factors is packaged within a single executable file, and the decision on which skin to be used is made at runtime. So the device is sensed, the device form factor is sensed, and the WorkLight application automatically uses that particular skin. Now, mobility, the notifications are a major concern for any mobilized application. Now, WorkLight makes push notifications easy using a notification framework that is unified and highly configurable API that allows the broadcast of push notifications without any knowledge of what the targeted device details or the platforms are. WorkLight also allows direct application updates, which means that applications will determine by themselves when a newer version is available, and if such a version is available, it will inform the user about it, or you can also push an application update to the device automatically from the server. WorkLight also allows the server to force upgrade the application on the device to the most recent version to prevent people from using obsolete versions. Then the another capability that enterprises will be interested in is analytics. WorkLight's analytics capabilities enable enterprises to look across logs and events that are collected from devices, applications and servers, and analyze them for patterns, problems and statistics. Again, in addition to these activity reports, an scalable operations analytics platform is also accessible via the WorkLight Console, which is something that we'll take a look at. Finally, the biggest concern is security. So WorkLight provides a secure end-to-end communication between the device and the data backend by positioning a server that oversees the flow of data. And WorkLight also allows the possibility for the enterprise to define custom security for access to this flow of data. So different people, different types of users can be assigned a different security handler. And also different separate levels of authentication based on the function of the application, so that we can avoid sensitive information from being accessed from the mobile. So these are the major capabilities of WorkLight. I want to move on and talk about the various types of applications that can be developed on using WorkLight. Now, there are 4 approaches possible. We can design applications that will be accessible only through a mobile browser. These applications can be written on using HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript. And these web applications, as they are called, are executed by the mobile browser and are cross-platform by default. So any application that has a browser can be used to access these applications. Then the next version is hybrid applications. In this type of application, the source code consists of the web code which is executed within a native container provided by IBM WorkLight, and this allows the device APIs to be accessed. So from in the first version on the mobile browser, you can't dial a number from within the application, because again it's browser based, but or take photographs for that matter. But the second type, the hybrid application, will let you do that. The other type of hybrid application is the mixed type, where along with the web code, the developer will augment it with the native language to create unique features and access native APIs that are not available on JavaScript. JavaScript being the code of choice on the web application. Then finally, the native application. These are the applications that are platform specific. So you need to have a separate code base, typically expertise on programming for each of the operating systems, and expert knowledge of the platform. Again, your approach can be any of these 4 based on what your end motives are, what you want to achieve, the level of integration, and things like that. We'll go on and talk a little bit about the unique WorkLight hybrid application architecture. Now, any WorkLight application consists of 2 major parts. One is an external shell, and then an inner application. The shell is a customizable container that provides access to the native capabilities of the device. The inner application itself contains the actual code, and that's the one that performs the functionality that the application is designed for. Now, based on this approach, you can access native capabilities like the phone, the camera, and other capabilities native to that particular device. The outer shell can be customized. You can have different shells for different trust levels, different authentication types, different departments. You can create a variety of shells, each of which will carry different branding, and these shells will force the inner applications running within the shell to automatically comply with the parameters of the shell. And these parameters, like I said, could be restriction of data access, use of certain APIs, and so on. And because the corporate policies are enforced by the shell itself, you can use the shell, develop the shell once, and the inner apps can be easily developed with common web programming languages. Another concern when you talk about a tool like this to developers is the amount of inherent programming knowledge that they need, or knowledge of existing tools that they need to start using this. WorkLight is compatible with all the prominent HTML5 libraries and tools, including jQuery, Dojo, and Sencha. So whatever is the library of choice for the developer, WorkLight will typically support it. And based on the choice of libraries, WorkLight will provide a palette for the developer to hit the ground running with this development. WorkLight as a tool, as a platform, contains these four components: the WorkLight Studio, the WorkLight Server, the WorkLight Runtime components, and the WorkLight Console. I'll quickly talk about each of these because this kind of gives you an understanding of how an application developed on WorkLight will work. The first part of the architecture that I want to talk about is something called the WorkLight Studio. The WorkLight Studio is an Eclipse-based integrated development environment, an Eclipse-based IDE. It allows the developers to perform all the coding and integration tasks that are required to develop a fully operational application store-ready app. Using the basic tools available on Eclipse, together with the various features provided by the WorkLight plugin, the WorkLight Studio streamlines the application development process and facilitates enterprise connectivity using the native or familiar web technologies. Sorry. And WorkLight Studio also allows access to integrated device development kits, and that will let the developers program using device features, emulators, third-party libraries, whether it's Android, iOS, BlackBerry, or Windows, and also code utilities for debugging purposes. The next component is the WorkLight Server. Again, the WorkLight Server is a scalable gateway between the applications, the external services, and the enterprise backend. The WorkLight Server contains the security features that are needed to enable connectivity to apps, multi-source data extraction and manipulation, authentication of users, direct update of the applications, analytics, operational management functions like client control, push notification, and aggregation of usage statistics. The third component that actually resides on the devices themselves is the WorkLight device runtime. This consists of runtime client APIs, libraries that complement the server by exposing a predefined interface to access the native functionality on that particular device. This WorkLight device runtimes utilize the PhoneGap framework to deliver a uniform bridge between standard web technologies and the native functions that different mobile operating systems provide. And it's also the runtime that provides for the multiple skinning choices that I was talking about, and also secured encrypted storage on the devices. The fourth component is a console. Now, the WorkLight console is actually a web-based interface. It's totally dedicated for monitoring and administration of the WorkLight server and the deployed applications, and also push notifications onto the devices. The console allows us to control and manage application access to the enterprise network based on any preset rules, application versions, and the device type, as well as to customize the accompanying messages that the users receive when they use the applications. So essentially the console provides functionality such as version control, push management, analytics and reports, audit logs, dashboard, and integration with enterprise business intelligence. The last component that was not really listed in the architecture diagram that I showed earlier is called the WorkLight adapters. WorkLight adapters are pieces of code, server-side artifacts, so to speak, that are deployed on and serviced by the application platform. They are used to connect to enterprise applications, deliver data to and from the applications, mobile applications, perform any necessary server-side logic on the data. Now, examples of such adapters, the HTTP adapter, which can be used to invoke REST services and SOAP-based services, and also used to perform HTML scraping. A typical example would be that we would use a HTTP adapter to access map functionality on the mobile and communicate between Google servers and the applications to bring map data and show and display it on the mobile. Another example is the SQL adapter. The SQL adapter is used to execute parameterized SQL queries and stored procedures to retrieve or update data in the backend databases. Then there's also a JMS adapter, which can be used to, this is a Java adapter that can be used to send and receive messages from a Java messaging system enabled provider. So it can be used to send and receive messages, both headers and the body. The last adapter that I want to quickly highlight is called the IBM cast iron adapter. It's used specifically to integrate with all the cloud-based hardware appliance or software-based editions of IBM WebSphere cast iron. So that's an adapter that's used for a specific purpose. So having looked at WorkLight and the architecture, I want to quickly show a small sample WorkLight application. It's a very simple application. There's nothing very complicated about it. The use case is of a service-oriented company that's maintaining a directory of its customers, provides information to its employees regarding the customers and the products that they own. Now, what you saw there was the first screen. When this is intended for the employees themselves. So the first screen is essentially what they see when they log in. So they have the options of looking up a customer. That's what they would do first because they want to contact the customer. So the second screen, they would click on customers. And the second screen, which is this one, would pop up, would be displayed rather. So this is a list of customers from the backend SQL database, and we've used SQL adapter to fetch this data. Now, the names that you see on the second screen are a list of names, just the list of customer names that are stored on the local WorkLight JSON store. And when they click on one of these names, the SQL adapter will fetch the customer data and display it on the third screen. Now, at this point, the service engineer, whoever is accessing this application, has the option of sending an email to the customer from the application by clicking on the email address. He can also click on the phone number and invoke the local phones calling functionality. He can click on the map, the word map, and once he clicks on the map, the HTTP adapter will go and fetch the data from Google Maps based on the address. So a route can be plotted for that particular address from the device's current location, from the user's current location. And again, these are screens from the Android emulator itself. So, this is what will happen when the user will click on the phone number. So the device's native calling facility will be invoked, and when the user clicks on the call button, the call will be initiated. Okay. The other thing that we would like the service engineer would do once he gets to the customer's facility would be to click a picture of the product as it stands today, and possibly once he finishes servicing it, maybe he'll want to click a picture again as a proof of performance. So for that purpose, the service engineer would click on the proof of performance button and invoke the phone's camera. Clicking on the capture button would capture a picture, and the picture can be stored in a back-end content management system directly. We can also the service engineer can quickly click on company news and get an RSS feed of the various news articles related to that particular company, to his company, and the HTTP adapter is used to invoke a custom Java class and display a list of the relevant RSS fields, and that's what is shown on the second screen. I apologize. The two screenshots seem to have overlapped. But anyways, so when the service engineer clicks on files and manuals, what happens is a list of files will be displayed, and once he clicks on a particular file, the URL of that particular file will be retrieved from the content management system. I mean, the URL will be passed, and the particular file will be retrieved from the content management system and displayed within the application. So what we are showing is a PDF of that file, and we are showing that within the application using the Google PDF viewer that's integrated within WorkLight. So again, these are what you saw was a simple application that we developed, and all it took for us was about between 1 and 2 man weeks. We will now look at a couple of case studies where IBM's customers have used WorkLight to develop new enterprise mobile applications or have mobilized their existing applications. Again, these case studies have been provided by IBM and can be found on IBM's website in case you need to read more about these. So the first case is of this company called Lottie, which is a credit card provider based in South Korea. Based on their research, they identified a need for a mobile platform to augment their service offerings. Now the challenge that they're facing is South Korea had seen an explosion of smartphone users. There were only about 800,000 users in 2009, but by 2012, the number of users had mushroomed to 7 million. And this had forced the company to look at options for value-added services for using a mobile phone. Also, the other challenge was to develop mobile applications that would comply with security regulations mandated by the Korean government. So Lottie came to IBM and decided to use IBM WorkLight and developed an advanced application that had a rich and engaging user experience. This application includes more than 100 screens, has features that use the particular user's location, and also provide scannable coupons. The application incorporated augmented reality components. This was the first for South Korea, even in that Korean peninsula, that would help users find retail locations of reward partners on the go. Now, based on their use of IBM WorkLight, they reduced the time to market for their application and the associated costs. The application that was deployed was one of the most advanced financial applications in the region, and it enabled better customer and employee user experience across a multitude of devices. The next case study that we want to talk about is about PVC Corporation. This is a US marketer of tires, pretty much the largest such company. They identified mobile channels as a means for new revenue and brand differentiation. No other company, no other competitor had such an application, and so they thought they should have one. The challenge was, again, customers in the US. There's a growing need with customers to engage in mobile commerce via a store locator application, which is what they came up with. They also wanted to address the bring your own device trend in the market and enable their employees to access data on the go, backend data on the go. So what they did was they used IBM WorkLight to create about half a dozen apps in the initial phase, and then more going forward. And they delivered these apps to more than 6,000 associates and millions of end users. What happened was from installation to having 3 applications in beta, it took them only 21 days. And after the first application, after the first device that they developed for, the second and the third target devices, the application development time, they saved about 80 to 90%, because whatever they developed for the first device, they could use it for the second and the third devices, even though those were completely different form factors or operating systems. So we are coming to the fag end of my presentation here. So we want to quickly summarize what the differentiators for WorkLight are. WorkLight is essentially an open standards-based platform, offers much flexibility for developers. You don't get locked into a particular mobile operating system vendor. You can develop across devices, across platforms. It's extremely easy to learn and use because, again, it offers support for all the major libraries out there. So your internal developers have a preference for a particular library, say jQuery. they can go ahead and start using that with WorkLight. And then because HTML5 is the core application development technology, and HTML5 is supported by all the platforms that are out there, you can leverage all your existing web development skills to develop applications. And because of the runtime skinning and the cross-platform capabilities, you can focus on all new devices and operating systems, whether it is a phone or a tablet, or whether it is iOS, Android, BlackBerry, or a Windows mobile, or whether your applications are native or hybrid or purely web apps. And then finally, WorkLight also helps you to cater to your high-end enterprise needs, allows you to engage with your consumer and also with your own employees, offers high-end application capabilities, the development process, integration, security, scalability, and management. Again, I want to stress on the efficiencies that you get. You get to use your web development skills within your enterprise that are commonly available. Because the code base is shared across devices, the time to market for the second and the third device is cut down. The apps can be optimized highly efficiently. Because there are ready-made user interface libraries and a visual editor, the developer has their job made easier. Because we are using adapters for enterprise connectivity and integration, the code components are reusable, so that saves a lot of time for you. WorkLight comes with a bunch of out-of-the-box security and authentication components, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Finally, WorkLight return on investments. As the number of devices increase, your development effort for each of those devices reduces. The first device pretty much takes the maximum effort, and then the effort progressively reduces. Again, as you develop more apps, the cost savings also increase, again because of the shell architecture. You develop a shell that can be used commonly across your enterprise, across different applications, and you only need to put effort on within the individual applications themselves. Your IT integration overhead and your mobile infrastructure cost also reduces, because again, it's the code base, everything is the same. You don't have to maintain separate code bases, different servers, all that is not needed. Everything can be run from the WorkLight server itself. And again, your maintenance costs of application versions and updates over time also reduces for all the reasons mentioned earlier. I already talked about how your time to market reduces as your platforms increase or your devices increase. Finally, I'd like to open up for questions. Scott?
Okay, if you have any questions for Anantha, simply just open up your GoToWebinar panel and you can type in your questions in the questions area. We do have a couple of questions already in. The first question is are you planning to have another webinar where you actually show the development environment and kind of a basic how-to use WorkLight?
Definitely. This webinar was intended to set the ball rolling on that. So we are working on the next one that will go in a little bit more detail about the application development process itself, and we'll have our technical team step in to do that.
Perfect. And next question is, you mentioned that the WorkLight was the sample database that you had hooked into a an SQL database, but does it also
Yes.
hook into Notes databases?
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay.
Not this particular application that I showed you, but it can link to Notes databases.
Right, but it's not just confined to SQL or to Notes.
No.
It has the connections to go to multiple database platforms.
Yeah, it's an IBM platform, so you can rest assured that support for Notes is there.
Okay. Perfect. Great. And you mentioned that the sample application was a couple weeks of development time. Does that include the back-end database or just the front end for the mobile devices?
The backend database, yes, that as well. But again, it includes this was our first application itself, right? So it includes the server setups, things like that as well.
Okay.
So to set up to roll out is what I talked about.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to get a clarification that there was much more involved than just the setting up the mobile application.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. When you set up the environment, were there any special tips or tricks that you could share with the audience in terms of getting the development environment set up? Was there any surprises?
See, the development environment itself is heavily based on Eclipse. So there was a WorkLight plugin that had to be installed onto Eclipse, and that was pretty much what we installed from a application development perspective. So, but there are, I'm sure there are other tasks that need to go in from a server perspective, and I think this is not the session for that. I think if you have any specific questions, we'll be glad to answer it offline.
Right. Perfect. Okay. Great. Well, I think let me just double check. We last call for questions. I'm just opening this up to make sure I didn't miss any. Spanning this out. Yeah, I think we're all covered. This has been a great overview of what it is, what the options are, what the thinking is in terms of what you need in your environment based on your applications. So we do appreciate your webinar very much. So I think it's the end of the questions, so I'll turn the time back over to you for the last word and to let them know how to contact you. If they do have any additional questions, they can either email Notes Code directly or if they can contact you directly. But yeah, so last word is yours, Anantha, and we appreciate your time.
Okay, I'll just take some time to just quickly add on to the question about what we did to set up the development environment. So what was done is we had to install Eclipse Juno SR2 and also an Android ADT emulator, and that's about it. And then WorkLight plugin. So so with that, I think it's time for me to conclude. I can. So Scott, how do should I give my contact information to you and you'll mail that out? How does that work?
Actually, yeah, there'll be an email that'll be sent out from Marga Systems to everyone with the link to the recorded video, and your contact information will be in there. Or if they wish, if they have something that they want to get answered right away, they can just send an email to me, or if you have a slide with your contact information, they can certainly send it to you. But I can forward it on if that's easier, but an email will be coming with all of Marga's contact information, so if you want to engage them with questions or potentially helping you set up WorkLight, I believe they do offer some services around consulting and helping companies get some mobile applications going. So, perfect. All right. So Anantha, thank you very much for your time. Thank you everyone for attending, and again, watch for an email coming with the recorded session, the link to it, and the contact information for Marga. And I do believe we generally share the slides as well, and those will be made available. Perfect. Well, thank you very much, and have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Anantha.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.